Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Conversation and good morning to each one of you. So there are some good news in terms of adoption like every day. This space is growing rapidly every day. And so today IBM has announced that they are going to issue a cryptocurrencies built on Stellar blockchain. So as you can see, if the companies like IBM and Microsoft starts issuing cryptocurrencies and if and if India still thinks that the cryptocurrencies and bitcoins are not legit, then I don't know where India as a country is heading. So this is the IBM announcement. So computing big IBM has introduced that it has signed up a partnership with environment fintech startup Viridium Labs to issue cryptocurrencies token on Stellar blockchain. Whether will they have an ICO, whether there will be an opportunity for everyone to participate or not, there's no clarity as yet, but these tokens will be used to reforest a 250 square feet mile of patch rainforest on the island of Borneo in Indonesia. Just in case if they do an ICO, it's going to be an opportunity for everyone on this planet Earth, and people are going to just rush into it considering how big IBM is. So what's the idea? So the idea is by employing a public and permissioned blockchain network, we can assist Viridium make a new sustainable marketplace that is fantastic for the company and good for the earth. What else do you want? And of course, then also they also say that this is a great example of how industries are getting reinvented by blockchain. In this case, developing much extra effective and clear tactic to carbon accounting and offsetting that will empower folks. I mean, the best example, or maybe the best place to find out how the blockchains are going to change the industries and the overall world is a Consensus 2018, which is running right now. Yesterday they were talking about the enterprise blockchain, so definitely something to look out for. Let's talk about the one country. So this is a state, I would rather call it a state. So Wyoming is a state in America. So it aims to be America's cryptocurrency capital. So what do I actually take away? Why am I even talking about it? One thing that I noticed is that it's the same, how there's a competition right now, or every individual sees this as an opportunity to be an investor and to be a part of this global economy. And it is no different for the country. In fact, the countries are also thinking the same ways. Just like every individual wants to be there first, or maybe become a hodler and be a part. It is the same with the country. The countries are also competing among themselves. Okay, let me be the first. Let me draw out the friendly regulations so that all these companies, all these startups come to me and help in revenue in my country. And that is the similar example that you will see here with Wyoming. So it says that Wyoming is about 1,000 miles away from the Silicon Valley. So maybe they want to be the next Silicon Valley. In case you didn't know, the Silicon Valley is the tech hub where most of the startups get funded and are built. It says, but the Cowboy State is hitching its wagon to the virtual currency craze, bidding to reinvent itself as the most crypto-friendly state in the US. So, like I said, there is a competition. There are states, there are countries which are competing. Like, for example, Malta. Malta is trying to be the #1 cryptocurrency state. And I hope that most of the regulators which are not crypto friendly right now, which think that Bitcoin is something sin or something like that, start thinking on these terms instead of, having those resistance for these new technology. This is what I take away from this news. And the next one is, of course, FedEx, one of the biggest shipment company in the world. So these guys were actually sitting at the Consensus with Don Tapscott the other day. I think they had the first or the second interview round there. And these guys were talking about how they are going to be adopting the blockchain technology. Imagine the FedEx, one of the biggest shipping firm in this world, adopting blockchain technology. And they also said that the people who are not going to be adopting this blockchain technology will be disrupted. Blockchain has the potential to completely revolutionize what is the cross-border They do millions of, maybe millions or maybe billions of shipment, millions I guess, of shipment every day. That doesn't matter. It does matter, sorry, the numbers do matter. But what I take away from this news is this is the best example for all the companies out there, which is shipment, or one of the all the biggest firms out there which exist, that oh my god, the FedEx is using blockchain technology. That means there is something powerful. Let me look into it. And that thus helping the adoption, thus changing the world. So I think they do about 12 millions of shipment every day. So we move easily 12 millions of shipment a day, and more than doubles during the peak seasons. While we obviously believe this technology is going to scale, right now it makes sense for us to do this in a freight world. So yeah, one of the biggest companies adopting blockchain technology. And not only that, they also said that this is a very, very significant statement. So if you're not operating at the edge of the new technologies, you will surely be disrupted. If you are not willing to embrace new technologies like Internet of Things and blockchain to face those new threats, you are maybe subtly at some point going to exit and out. So amazing, great example for all the companies out there who are still thinking of the blockchain technology. This is something that we spoke on the other day with Icon interview. So, you know, the Upbeat, one of the biggest exchanges in South Korea, was suspected to be fraud, to have done some fraud, saying that they don't hold those customers' funds with their assets in their wallet. And in fact, you know, there was huge issue out there. I mean, there was a FUD, the market actually dropped a little bit. And when I was speaking to the Icon the other day, and in my talk, because these guys, Icon is also from the South Korea, so I spoke to him about the Upbeat scenario as to what exactly happened in South Korea, what exactly happened with Upbeat, why is there a suspect. And then he did mention that it looks like there is a huge misconception, misunderstanding, or something like that, you know, from the regulators. Actually, that's not really the case. And it turns out today that was really true. Because now in the audit, the Upbeat audit has confirmed that South Korea's biggest cryptocurrency exchange is not at fault. I'm not sure if they can see that. Okay, it's not at fault. It's okay. So it says it's not at fault. So it was a mistake. So a major accounting firm in South Korea has revealed results of an audit of Upbeat cryptocurrency holding, confirming that the exchange did not inflate its balance sheet and deceive investors. So they are quite clean, and if they are quite clean, by the way, they never stopped the trading. The trading is still going on, but it's a good news that they are not going to stop trading anymore, and they have come out clean. And one of the reasons why it's important is Upbeat is headed by one of the biggest giant called Kakao, K-A-K-A-O. And so Kakao is not just into cryptocurrency exchange, they are into multiple business. In fact, they were planning recently to issue some tokens and do an ICO. They are coming up with a new idea. So that's a good news. That means they will continue to do that. I think that the way is quite clear that they're going to issue those tokens and build their idea. Otherwise, it would have been difficult. I don't think, you know, to be honest, for a brand like this to do something fraud, I mean, it makes no sense. You are actually damaging your brand name and whatnot, right? So this is, even though the cryptocurrencies and blockchain space is growing and there are a lot of positive news, companies are accepting it and whatnot, there are still few people who still don't see the use of cryptocurrency. So this is the call Steve Iceman. So Steve Iceman was somebody who actually during the financial crisis of 2008, right? He shorted collateralized debt obligations before the 2000, and that is when he like kind of became that filthy rich guy. And he doesn't see any value in cryptocurrency. So he sees that what value does the cryptocurrency actually add? In fact, he is right to a certain extent. Most of the cryptocurrencies, they still don't add any value except being traded on the exchange, and that's not the value addition actually. But there are few cryptocurrencies which are adding value today. You know, there are few applications which are So there are few cryptocurrencies which are still in the process to be the actual product. So in that way, he's right. But absolutely, I mean, to say that the cryptocurrencies are not here to exist, they're all bubble, it would not be true. So, but since this comes from one of the filthy rich guys' statement, this holds some value. Do you remember the Amber Baldet, the ex-JP Morgan employee? So she was heading the blockchain team, blockchain development at JP Morgan, and she left JP Morgan, and everyone was shocked about why she's leaving. And she also said that she's going to have her own blockchain startup, but she never revealed what startup it's going to be like. So here she reveals at Consensus 2018, she kept all the secrets. So apparently what it seems that she is building a decentralized application development, and its platform, it's called Clover. So how does the Clover look like? Let's have a look. So this is how the Clover looks like. Grow better networks decentralized together. So this is the name of the startup of this Amber Baldet, right? So exciting. So she had it secret until Consensus 2018 is where she revealed the plan. So here she has tweeted recently where she says grow Clover. So Clover is the name of the firm that these guys have formed, the ex-JP Morgan guys, ex-JP Morgan. So you see these, I mean, yesterday we heard about this, another guy who was who actually left the vice president of Goldman Sachs. He left the presidency for cryptocurrency firm. So you see this brain drain happening now into this traditional space, especially in the banking space, and these guys, and in fact there is nothing much to innovate now into the banking sector, in the fiat sector, into the traditional sector. So all the innovations and inventions are happening into the blockchain space, and that is what excites these guys. So they left this traditional company, they formed something of their own. So this turns out her first venture. So she says that the Clover accelerates Dapp development, whether you want to run a public Ethereum or a private network. It's a tool that will define privacy first design and way to get more non-developers running full nodes. Of course, she has a video also over here.
First email, and imagining streaming movies to your mobile device would have just seemed like magic. So it's hard to stand here and imagine what impact blockchain technology is really going to have on the world. And at some point, you start to sound like you are completely full of fantasies that make no sense. And at other times, you might be
full of fantasies. So most of the cryptocurrency projects and everybody, that is why one of the reasons why people say that you're dreaming. Yes, it is a fantasy land right now. Cryptocurrency in blockchain space is a fantasy land right now, just like internet was a fantasy land in 1990s. But we all like to believe that we are heading somewhere to a greater place, and we are building a strong economy. I'm sure that's true. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hit that like button. Leave your comment. What do you think about this news today? And I will see you in the next video. Take care.